Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today we're going to do this intro for Pan Those Eyeshadows / Pan in Everything. Pan in Everything is something that I've never done before, but it's a project that I've been wanting to do for a while because I just want pan in everything, you know? I think it's a fun concept and it's kind of never ending because you never get pan in everything, do you? But anyway, Pan Those Eyeshadows I have done for 2 years, and I'm going to mix up how I do things this time. I'm going to do like a mix between those years. So just bear with me as I explain a little bit further. So 2 of the shades that I'm going to try to hit pan on are going to be randomized from my whole collection of eyeshadows. 2 of the shades will come from palettes that I've randomized, but I choose the shade from. And one of the shadows is going to be a single. The single one is just like a joker. I'm just going to add it here and I'm going to try to use it 3 times until the next update, and then I will just, you know, get some use on them. That's the idea for this year, because otherwise I will never roll them in, I will never use them, and that's a shame, right? So I want to use them at a minimum of 3 times. If I use them more, that's great, but singles often contain a lot more product than pans within palettes, so I didn't want to force myself to actually use them until I hit pan. So yeah, I think 3 uses, I can do that. If I have more than that, I might not do it in a month, and then I might not get that rotation that I want. But if I can use them more, that's fantastic. Then I'm also going to have 2 face products that I choose that I'm going to try to hit pan on. And with the eyeshadow part, I have decided that if I use something 10 times and I have decided that this is just not for me right now, it might be the wrong season, I might not get inspiration from it, it might be too much like something else, it might be very deep, it might be like very hard pressed, so I know that it will take the whole year to pan on it. Like, I can have a few different reasons. So if I have used something 10 times, I can roll it out. But since my goal is to hit pan, I normally don't utilize that like exception rule, let's say. But anyway, I have my pretty random app here, and I'm going to actually randomize 4 shades. So if the 2 of the first ones come from my that palette or something, I can just, you know, move on to the next one. So let's just randomize a few. Oh, I have to write these down. 967, 705. My backups are 937 and 50. Didn't we get 507? No, 705 we got. Now 507. Okay, 507. So I will very soon check that out, but first we're going to also randomize the palettes that I can choose the shades from. So let's randomize the 2 palettes. And the first one is Lady in Charge, P. Louise. I think those are pretty deep. I haven't hit pan in any P. Louise palettes yet, but oh, the Lady in Charge, I think that's my favorite as well. That's awesome. That will be fun, maybe, depending on the shade. But then we also have, oh, I can choose the shades. What am I talking about? Too Faced Best Year Ever 2018. So I will be back with the palettes, with the shades, the 2 shades that I've randomized, and the 2 face palettes. Oh, I was going to randomize the single too. And I just realized that I haven't actually written those down yet. So I'm just going to choose, or like dip my hands into my singles and just pick one. And since I'm not really trying to hit pan on it and I'm just going to use it 3 times, it can actually be a liquid single as well. I'm okay with that, or like a cream shadow or something. So I'll be back in a jiff. Okay, so I'm back with all of my palettes, all of the shades that I'm going to be working on. And let's talk about the randomized shades. None of them worked. None of the 4 shadows that we drew, not even the 2 like extra backups, none of them worked. 2 of them were from my Pan That Huge palette, 1 of them was from my Pan That palette, and the last one was from my Hey Reindeer palette, which I am currently working on. I'm working on the whole palette for No Pan Left Behind, or like a level 1. in my penner's pan. So I couldn't draw that one in either. So none of them worked. So I continued to draw numbers. I'm sorry you didn't see that, but the upcoming two actually worked. So I drew the number 1115, and that shade comes from my Best Year Ever 2018. And it's the shade Trimmed. So let's see which one that is. It's actually this green one right here. It's a very dark green. I don't know if I've ever used this one actually. It's a very special shade. It's nothing I would normally go for, but it's still creamy, it's still working, and look at that shine. I'm actually pretty excited, not really to hit pan on it because I know that Too Faced is so hard to hit pan on, but I also feel like I could use it as a liner, maybe on my nails. I could probably go with a green eyeshadow look or two. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so the next one was 1140, and that comes from my Spotlight palette from Ukambe. Looks like this. It's a big palette, and it's the shadow B6. So A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's this hot pink here, and yeah. Let's do some colorful looks, shall we? This is very pink. It has a bit of a shimmer to it, but no glitters. So yeah, that will be interesting. I don't think I've touched this one either, so it will be pretty hard to hit pan on that. These are pretty deep actually. I have to see, can I see how? No. So this had an outer packaging when it came. I usually throw those out. But I think all the information was on there on how big these are. But I have, as you can see, I've hit pan on it before. I've hit pan on this blue one and this purple one, and they are pretty deep. So we'll see. We'll see when I hit pan on that one. But at least a pink I can use. It's pretty easy to use pinks for me. And now let's move on to the two palettes that I randomized that I can choose the shade from. This one got rolled in, so we're not only going to work on the green in here that I just showed you, but I can choose any one of these shades to hit pan on. And one part of me wanted to choose these face products as well, just to have like a lot in the same palette, but I realized that I am kind of working on these shades, and I wanted to use other face products to hit pan on for right now. So I'm just going to choose an eyeshadow in here. So which one? This one would be very easy because it's a setting shade. So that's kind of what I would normally go for because one, I'm chicken, and two, it's easy. You know, it's easy to hit pan on, but right now I have shades like that in other palettes that I'm trying to hit pan on. And I don't really want to go with the lightest pink here because I am working on that in another project as well. So maybe let's go for this one. I have used this a few times. I don't know if you can see a little bit of a dip there. And I think that was a pretty nice shade. Yeah, I think so. So I think we're going to go with Love Actually, that shade is called. So that is how that one looks. And I think, you know, I will be able to use that together with pinks or, you know, as a neutral look. It's a mauve tone, so it will work. The other one I was thinking about was maybe this one, Deck the Malls. One part of me wants to choose a darker shade just because I have so many light shades in my Panda palette and I need something darker to, yeah, to darken it up. But if I choose the darker one, I will not be able to use as much of it and it will be hard to hit pan on. On the other hand, like I said, Too Faced is very hard to hit pan on as it is, so maybe I should choose this one instead. What do you think? What do you think? What do I think? I think that, like, I don't think I will hit pan on any of these until the next update, but maybe I should go for the darker one. Yeah, let's go for the darker one. It will be nice to have a pan in that one. So let's go with this one and not this one. So let's go with Deck the Malls, which was, again, this very dusty, kind of grungy purple. And then we have Lady in Charge by P. Louise. This was not the one that I thought I rolled in. The other one is so amazingly beautiful. This one is beautiful too. It's a very cool brown leaning palette, which I like. If I'm going to wear any browns, I would like it to be cool toned. And I haven't yet decided for sure what to pick. Like this one, I think would be easiest. It would go with everything. And maybe I need something easy right now just because I have such difficult shades, I would say. This one I really love. It's like a very nice purpley, it has like a purpley tone to it, but I think I would be a little bit bored if I went with it every single day. So I don't think I want to wear that right now. So it's either this one or maybe like one of these three because they are lighter. I could use them in the nights. I could, you know, it's a mid-tone brown would maybe be good. I think I'm going to go with this one. I have no idea how deep these are. These are 2.5 grams each. That's deep. It's like 2 eyeshadows. Yeah, sure, these are pretty big size. So maybe it's as deep as a normal eyeshadow maybe, but still 2.5 grams, that's a lot. So I think it's going to take a long time to hit pan on this. But this one I can use with kind of any look. I could have used it today. I have like a brown and a reddish brown over the silvers. So yeah, I just think I could use it. I think I can use it with my Pan That palette as well. So let's have at least one shade that will be very easy to work with. I also think this is called MOB, Mother of the Bride as well. This came like in a set of 3 with like the bridal bundle or something. But I'm thinking if I swatch this, oh, it was a lot lighter actually than I thought. But anyway, I swatched it here beside this one, and I think that could be pretty nice for blending out. But let's try this one as well, because it's just a tiny bit darker, and maybe that would work better then. That's that one. So I could go with a very light or a mid-tone. I think any of those would go pretty well, but let's go with the lightest shade. Let's go with the Mother of the Bride. And yeah, let's try to hit pan on that one. It shouldn't be too hard to use, even if it might take a long time. Like I said, I haven't hit pan on any P. Louise palette, so I have no idea how long it will take to form a dip in a matte, or like how powdery they are or anything. Let's move on to the single. I just reached my hand down in my little sachet and I picked this one. This is from ZC and it's a dual-ended eyeshadow stick. So we have 2 sides, which is pretty good because I can choose whatever side I want. And I can use one of them once and the other one twice, or I can use one of them 3 times or something. So this has both a goldy side to it, but I do have a goldy eyeliner that I'm trying to finish. So I might use the other shade more, which is like a red with some gold shimmers in it. So that one looks like this, the red with the gold, and then we have this goldy one here that would be pretty nice for an inner corner. So I want to use this 3 times. And I'm sorry, I'm very messy right now, but you know, I can't wipe it off because I forgot the wipes. So I'm going to bring in 2 face products. And I was like, I am working on so much right now already in the beginning of the year. So I was like, okay, what can I bring in that isn't too much like everything else that I'm panning? And what can give me that variation? Maybe what can I use together with other products? And I thought blushes. I have a lot of blushes that I'm trying to finish, that I'm trying to hit pan on. I have a Franken blush in my Pan That Huge palette that I'm trying to finish. So I was like, okay, I have this one. This contains not too much pigment, I would say, and it can be used as a topper. It has some kind of sheen to it, but yeah, it is a blush duo actually. It's by Pixie. It's called the Beauty Blush Duo in Peach Honey. And Oh, how am I going to do this? Okay, so I'm going to swatch it on my other hand. I think that's the best. So you can definitely see, maybe not you, but I can see, maybe have it, like, can you even see that? I can see it. I can use it as a blush topper. I think it can give like a nice sheen to the cheeks without being too glittery. I would actually use this as a highlighter as well. So maybe I will do that a couple of times. Maybe I will use it as a blush topper. Maybe I can use it in my inner corners. Maybe not as a powder, but you know what I mean. I think this could be versatile enough for me to actually hit pan on eventually. The other thing I'm going to bring in is a bronzer, and this is from Revolution. I was going back and forth between this and another bronzer, but that was a lot more warm tone, and I wanted something that was a little bit more cool tone for my skin, especially now. We still have winter here, so even though this is, you know, it's still warm, but it's not as warm. Also, I checked the contents, and this only has 2 grams in it, this whole container, and the other one contained 3 grams. So I think this will be easier to actually hit pan on, and it's new, so it will be nice to try it out and yeah, enjoy it while it's new. One part of me really wants to go for older products all the time, but I kind of force myself with my fingers. I kind of force myself to use all of my newer things just because I want to know how they are when I get them. Like, I don't want to sit here and review them in 3 years time when they might have gone off, or like they might not work as well as they did in the beginning. So I really want to use newer products as well. Maybe not to finish or hit pan on necessarily straight away, but yeah, I do that too. So this one I want to hit pan on. And like I said, if I use any of these products 10 times, I can roll them out. I'm going to call myself boring if I do, but I might roll some of these out. And I'm thinking, especially with these shades and these palettes, I think all of these are deep and hard to hit pan on. The face products I chose myself, and they will take time like face products do. But eyeshadows, I feel like as far as the formula goes and how deep these are, except for the Oda's eye palettes that I have, those are deep and they're pretty hard pressed, I would say. But except for those, I think these might be the hardest to pan on, just when thinking about how deep they are and how hard pressed they are, like the Too Faced ones. Even the shimmers take a long time to actually pan on in the Too Faced palette. So we'll see, but I do like a challenge, and I think this year I will be a little bit more both kind with myself, I guess. I am much more into colorful makeup, so I feel like I will get use out of these, and I don't think it will be as much of a hassle as it would have been like a year ago. But I think this year I might be a little bit more laid back with this project just because I have so many other projects to work on. I really, really want to finish my palette in my Pan That palette this year. So that will be my absolute like focus for this year. But whenever I play around, I definitely want to include these shades, and hopefully we'll have a few pans this year as well. And also, starting next time, we will talk about pan percentage in this particular project. So if you're into that, definitely stick around. If you're into pan those eyeshadows, pan and everything, if you're into, well, eyeshadow projects, I have a lot of actually this year. I have a few other projects as well going on, so if you're interested in panning content, definitely subscribe to my channel, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Have a good evening. Bye!